All right, we're here on the beach in San Diego. I'm with T-Mart, the big-time tater masher. He's going to be representing Monsta here at the Long Haul Bombers Tour, the Power Tour event at Petco. Just going to sit down with him, ask him a couple questions. For those in the militia that don't know, I'm his little brother. So yeah, we'll just get right into it.
My little brother Daniel.
Daniel, that's my name. Don't wear it out. AKA the Creature. You ever hear this guy talking about the Creature? Sma. But no, yeah. This is your second time doing this event at Petco?
Yeah.
For sure. How'd you do last time?
I think it was like 7 for 15.
And that's
so
when
that was in 2016.
That's when you guys were going straight 15 pitches, 15 hacks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just serve it up there. If it's good enough, you got to swing at it no matter what.
Yeah, our pitcher was pretty dialed though, so it worked out.
It's going to be slightly different this year?
Yeah, a little bit different. So it's a Monsta Militia Power Tour. So
Okay.
it's only Monsta Athletics players. So every region is also going to have a home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever wins that home run derby will get to hit at that stop. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool this year because John Gilmore, former player, had the first signature bat from Monsta. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, his senior zebra, which was fire.
Mm-hmm.
His son is like maybe his junior in college, and he won the home run derby to hit with us today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So yeah, it'll be good, man, to see him come around, and he's also probably gonna be the biggest dude in it.
Seeing it kind of come full circle there.
Yeah, just
That's
to know
awesome.
his dad and see him, and then follow his baseball exploits through his dad as well. See him doing really well, and have a chance to come out here and show everybody he has a good swing on him and some pop.
That's what's up. So, because it is a Monsta Militia Power Tour, the rules are going to be slightly different this time around, from what I understand.
I think it's just going to be a bit more relaxed. So usually it was 15 pitches. Sometimes it'd be 1 take or 2 takes. This time it's going to be, we're not going to sit there and take 20 pitches, but they don't really have a restriction on it. So I think that will bode well, just because it'll help ease some of the nerves. And pitching is just as hard as hitting in this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got to be dialed. Everyone expects the pitches to be perfect so that the hitter can do his thing. But it's a rough gig to throw in these.
Yeah, for sure. The pitching shouldn't even be an issue, so those guys have to be
Exactly.
dialed in.
Yeah, and it's an overlooked part of a home
for
run
sure.
derby, and whether it's baseball, softball, whatever it is, if you have a bad pitcher, you're gonna have a bad performance.
For sure. Do you know how they choose these gentlemen, or they're just like, we know this guy's money, so he's going to be the one throwing to you?
So previously, a gentleman named Gary Joes used to pitch to everybody. But with this year being a little bit different, we think we're gonna have maybe just one of our guys to us. I know Ryan McClanahan, who's hitting in it, said that he may just turn around and pitch to everybody.
Oh, shit.
So we'll kind of figure it out today. We're going to go take some BP before the game, which is nice, because the facilities don't let us warm up.
For sure.
And then a lot of these games, like the last time I was here, the game was like at noon, and we had to be there at 9, and so it's like kind of hard to find somewhere to hit at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So this being a later game, we'll get to get rested, get out here, have some fun, and then go warm up somewhere, and then go hopefully put on a good show for everybody.
When you actually get up in there and it's time to hit, because I know I haven't actually been to one yet, but a couple that I've seen, I think it was like Cincinnati. I know that minor league all-star game. There's a lot of people there watching you guys hit. Do you block that out, or you just zoned in on the pitcher, or you've done it so many times you don't have to worry about it?
Well, I think I've been fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to perform in front of large amounts of people. So the atmosphere is what gets you the nerves. And so it's a mental thing. Like when you kind of lock in, I know a lot of baseball guys have seen For the Love of the Game when he talks about like clearing the mechanism. So
For sure.
I mean, I've had the opportunity to play in a College World Series.
Great baseball movie, by the
Yeah.
way. If you have not seen Love of the Game, check it out. Another
Playing
Kevin Costner classic.
Like indie league stuff and the Jayhawk League, where there's gonna be
some pressure.
15,000 people at some of these games, and when you get into that area, it's a good one when that like you can't see anything but the pitcher and you don't hear anything.
For sure.
So when it's calm, when your atmosphere is calm, then that's when you're going to be able to have a good performance.
Most definitely. What's your approach? Are you just the pitcher is going to be solid? I know you got power to the opposite field. Is that where you're looking to hit the home runs, or you just I'm going to pull the ball, hit it as far as I can, or you go with the pitch?
We definitely have a game plan with the pitcher where everyone where they like to be thrown. So I definitely want to be in something like this. I'll actually change my positioning at the plate.
Okay.
Because I do feel that my best swing is into the opposite field gap.
Yep.
But these aren't really set up
for sure
for that.
Yeah, this is a big ballpark too.
Yeah, it's a big ballpark. At 6 o'clock, it'll be a little bit cooler, which should help us. Hopefully the heavy marine layer hasn't rolled in yet. And there should be some good ones. So I'll actually position myself on the plate a little bit different, so that I feel like I have a smoother, like, dead center swing, and that dead center swing will kind of be left center for me out there. Hope a little bit more towards left, but yeah, I'll make that adjustment.
For sure. Does it affect it more with the softball elevation, being by the ocean, time of the day, the temperature? Does it affect the softball more than would a baseball, or they're pretty similar?
To me, the one significant difference is the weather, and that's where baseball and softball go opposite directions.
Okay.
So when it's colder, the bat, when it's cold, molecules become closer, they don't react as fast, so in turn the barrel becomes stiffer. So when you have a stiffer barrel and and the ball becomes stiffer because of the weather, you actually hit it harder. Yeah. To where in baseball, that is the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. So like I always felt that that I could clear a ball throwing, at 120 degrees, much easier than I could like at 50.
For sure. That makes sense.
Just felt like it was looser. You got everything together, and it just flew a little bit better. So I'm sure the ball did get softer. So in the heat, but with the bat and everything else that's involved, it always just felt easier in the heat with the baseball.
Most definitely. Dang, that's pretty interesting. I never really taken too much of that into consideration, but I guess when you're trying to hit the ball 350, 360 feet, it's going to boil down to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like everything else. It's a game of inches, man. You got to be. It's probably less than 1/8 of an inch between spinning one to the warning track or hitting one off the facade of the upper deck.
For sure.
So you have to be right there.
When you've been doing this, speaking of hitting one off the facade in the upper deck, when you've been doing this, is there like a couple balls that stand out to you, or you just like, if I could hit the ball every time, it'd probably be something like that? Just something that you absolutely crushed? Yeah,
I think Cincinnati and Charlotte were real good showings for me. Charlotte got to double digits for the first time, and I think Cincinnati was like a good power display. Because I think I only hit like 7, maybe 8. I know you did cream five of them were into the upper deck, and one was called into the 5th deck is what they called it. So I missed a jumbotron by like a row or two out in left center. So those are also the ones that look probably a little smoother on film. They feel smoother, because I really like the gaps. I've always had the mindset and taught that like left field line and right field line are for being early and for being late, and you play the game through the big part of the field. For sure. So feeling comfortable at a stadium enough to hit it into the gap. So like San Diego probably isn't one of those. I mean, I could scrape a few over. Yeah, it's a big ballpark, man. I've got them into the upper deck here before. But it's definitely a safer bet to be a little more down the line. But Cincinnati and Charlotte were definitely open in the gap, so it was nice to be able to hit there. Most definitely.
I know there's probably some of these guys watching, maybe, that are trying to break that ceiling between, okay, I'm making solid contact, I'm hitting balls into the gap, I'm hitting doubles, but I'm not hitting the ball as far as I want to. Is there any advice? Is it just hit the weight room? Is it get more hacks? Is there something that clicked with you in softball or even in baseball where it's like, this is what put me over the top, this is where I get my power from? Or is it just something you've always had? I know you hit the ball a mile when you were a kid too, but
yeah, so I think people get real concerned with bat speed. And then typically when you overexert, you get away from your center line. So like
swinging
the
too
farther,
hard.
yeah, so the harder you swing or the more effort you put into swinging, you'll cast or you'll roll with your shoulders, and then you'll leave that center line of your body. And so like playing baseball, I always was able to, create that power and create it in the right center because, I always worked on letting the ball get deep, and then, later on I worked on, some different hitting areas. But I always knew that the closer I was to the midline of my body, the stronger I would be. So having my elbow tucked in and having it slide across, like I'd always wanted to be like sliding from my right side to my belly button. Because the number one thing that people don't do when they want to talk about power, bat speed, is get their top hand through the ball. So if you can't get your top hand through the ball, you're never going to hit for power.
Yeah, for sure.
Your
it's
bat
tough.
speed's going to lag. So that right hand getting through the ball, if you can't do it, I mean, even if you have a